What's up, party people?
Welcome to Weird Movies
With MC Popsicle.
and MOW.
And today we're gonna talk about The Thing with Two Heads. Check it out.
Party people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Weird Movies with MC Popsicle. Today, we have our illustrious guest, world famous international DJ, DJ MOW.
What's up, Popsicle? How we doing?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
So today, we reviewed this movie called The Thing with Two Heads.
Craziness.
Yeah, give him a down low. What was going on?
Well, it was this like 70s era doctor's office, and they were like specializing in doing all these crazy, inventive transplants. So they're like liver transplants and arm transplants. And then they were like transplanting gorilla heads onto other gorillas. I don't know.
Yeah, so the first scene, they're sewing a head on a gorilla, like this, as you can see behind us, and the gorilla broke out and like was running away and stuff, and then they caught him, and the guy that was paying for it was this rich, racist white guy.
He's very racist.
But he was dying of cancer, but all of his body is messed up except for his head. So they decided to put his head on another person's body. But what was the problem with that person's body?
They had to find a person's body that the head was bad, but the rest of the body was fine. So they ended up getting someone who was condemned to death, and he wanted to donate his body to cancer research.
Yeah, so because he didn't want to die in the electric chair.
Right.
But he happened to be an African-American man. Dun dun dun, in the 70s. In 1972.
This movie had some very awkward, weird overtones, racial overtones. It was a little bit, like, you can tell it was from the 70s.
I felt like it was pretty, like, woke, though, for being when it was made. Like, they weren't super racist, like I thought they were gonna be.
Definitely at the end, it, like, wrapped itself up nice at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but so they sew this, like, old, like, mean, racist white guy's head onto this inmate black man's body. And so the white...
It was the 70s, I don't know.
The white guy they didn't tell him that the guy was black until it was already happening.
Until he, like, woke up. He woke up and it was like...
Dun dun dun.
Ta-da!
Yeah, and then the black guy, when he woke up, he like stabbed one of the nurses with this like stuff, like knockout stuff, and
Shot. Anesthetic.
Yeah, and then he runs away because he doesn't want this either. Neither one of them knew what was happening.
Right. So he runs away, and they get into a 70s era car chase, and the car chase, they end up at a motorcycle track.
Yeah.
And then it turns into the longest police chase ever, where they're just driving back and forth across a field, and then there's all these like car crashes, like this,
like behind us. And it was ridiculous. Apparently in that era, because I remember it happened in like Blues Brothers and a lot of other movies, are just crazy, out of nowhere car crashes. But it was ridiculous because they were just chasing him around, literally like in a circle, and they were in a field. But then cars would just go off cliffs and stuff, and it's like, where was the cliff? And sometimes it wouldn't even show them chasing it. They'd just be like, oh, here's another car.
Well, after a while, they got to the point where they were just like, here's the rest of our budget, like.
Yeah, it's not even like have anything.
They don't
to do
even
with
chasing.
it.
They're just like there's not even showing the motorcycle anymore. It's just cop cars flying off the side of the hill.
And them in a motorcycle. They're riding a motorcycle, and it was funny because the way that they did the two-headed thing was basically the way we did it at the beginning of the episode, and then they would like wear one big suit together half the time, and then one of them was like just a mannequin head half the time. But it was pretty funny. They go to the end, like they get out. This black doctor says that he's gonna help the black man, and takes his head off. No, takes the white guy's head off at the end of the movie, and the movie just ends like,
and it's done.
It's completely done.
And the old racist guy, he's like, find me another body.
Yeah, they took his body.
Yeah.
They took the black guy's head and body away from the white guy's heads, and then just left his head. The end of the movie is just his head sitting there.
The white guy.
Going, help me, find me a new body. And then it just ends like that quick. And they get you really invested over the amount of time, and then at the end it's just all the black people are together singing, riding in the car, and you can see that he doesn't have the other head.
They just have like the whole movie is the setup and then the chase, and then it ends like that. It's just over.
Yeah.
Like, where's the rest of the story? Like, what happened? You spent the whole movie set. It was like they ran out of budget. They like spent their whole budget on the car chase, and they were like, oh crap, we don't have any more money. Like, we gotta end this magnus opus
right now.
It's gotta end. What's the end of the story? We have 3 more shots.
Yeah. So it just ended like that, and so you may think. I mean, obviously, when this movie was made, it was very weird and out there, but this has actually happened before with animals in real life.
This freaked me out real bad.
In Russia, they actually did this with dogs, and they lived, and it looks like this. That's a real dog sewed on with a real another dog's head, and that can happen.
Stuff you find on YouTube.
So yeah,
with MC Popsicle.
KJB stuff, GB, one of those words, I don't know. But in summation, it was very interesting.
It was kind of awkward. Like, there were some spots that were really cringy. You're like, oh my god, this was the 70s. Like, I was never alive, but
yeah, it was strange, but it was neat to see what people thought, and they were a lot less racist than I thought they would be. They were they pretty much made the racist dude look like the bad guy, and
he was the bad guy.
Yeah. So, but kind of neat, kind of weird, and it exists. In case you didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any closing remarks?
I gave it 1.5 Serato records.
Whoa. Out of how many?
5.
Out of 5. I give it a weird level of 7 out of 10. It was more normal than I thought it would be, and I thought it was funny that I just called it a thing. And when it's just 2 people with one head, oh, it's like you're a freaky monster now. But yeah, it was interesting, and kind of. It was interesting as a novelty. It's not something I'm gonna watch every day.
We honestly took like 2 breaks during the middle of the movie and like went and ate and came back and finished it because we were like the longest police chase ever.
Yeah, it's a B movie, definitely. It's a B movie. It's fun to know that it exists. C movie, D movie. But the acting was decent for what it was. I was surprised. Everybody, I thought, did a decent job. But yeah. Alright guys, so check it out if you're into weird stuff, and we'll see you around. Good job. Alright, we're out of here. Dance it out.
Deuces.